How many of these have you done? I watched a bit of the one that you've done already. Am I number 2?
This is the third one. So I had one yesterday. So yeah, I'm just trying a new way of sampling or reviewing my drink. It's just
Nice.
See how it goes.
What made you choose me of all people?
Well, I've been in a connection with you for quite a while. Because when I set this up, I was looking at 3 elements of our product. So the low alcohol, this sustainable side, and also like a health side. So you came into that health category.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I thought I'd reach out to as many people as possible and see who comes back and say, yeah, I'm up for it.
And how many people came back?
I've got around 6, 7 at the moment lined up. So
that's good. I'm pleased.
It's not too bad.
I didn't ask you how many you sent out though, which is probably
a lot. Probably.
And it's a bit like that, isn't it?
But it's just see how it goes, and I don't know. It's just trying to get ways to find out about my drink a bit more. Also, hopefully, give others a bit more information. And you might ask me a few questions which I wouldn't normally put out on my socials. So it's just interesting way. And hopefully something for you as well.
Oh, thank you. No, very exciting. So I mean, I've never been asked to do a drink thing. So how long have you been doing your drinks?
So the process has been around 2.5 years. We launched in December with this first product. So,
and how's it going?
Good if you think in a certain way, but I would like it to be faster. Obviously, I would like it to be everywhere, but I've just got to play it as it goes. So I'm hoping to make this more of a profitable business instead of just raising funds. So trying to make it smarter business.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, look, I run my own thing and it's in mental health. So you'd think that was really fast, but no, it's not. It's about the same. People like talking a lot more than they spending money, right?
Yes.
And also, if you are trying to deal with large organizations, then they're all sat on salaries. So it can take 2 years to make a decision. That doesn't really matter to them, you know?
Oh, yes. This is scary because I funded it all by myself. So, and it's in an industry I've never been in. So
what prompted that? That's an amazing life change to do. What prompted...
So I'm formerly a chef. So I was a chef for 17 years. Then I ran my own bakery in Essex for 4 years. And then one son in Chelmsford.
Yeah, okay.
So I ran a bakery doing triangular bread rolls called Huffers.
Wow.
So I was very niche then. And then one Sunday, I love Sunday brunch. So I was watching Sunday Brunch and they do like a food and drink section on the program. And on the last part of the segment was a drink called kvas. And I've never heard of kvas before. And they mentioned it was a drink made of bread. I was like, well, I've not sold a load of bread from my market. I like to be different. Let's give it a try. And then I've just fallen in love with the product. And it's just gone from there.
Wow. So have you told Sunday Brunch that, you know, that they've inspired you to set up your own new business and that they should promote your drink on the show then?
No, but that would be like godsend. Like, oh my God.
Well, you should do that. You should totally tweet them and contact them and be like, guys, like I was a baker. Your show, like, you know, and I mean, it'd be one of those quirky little stories where if they could get you on the show talking about how much you were inspired, which they would do because it's a great story, then I'll give you a bit more momentum. I would have thought.
I would love that. Hey, that's like, oh my God. But yeah, one day hopefully.
Well, why don't you email We've got nothing to lose from that.
Yeah, I could do. It's just scared. I guess you're having a really busy week because it's Mental Awareness Week
Well,
this
yeah,
week.
but I think it's still, as everything is, a lot more talk about what we're doing than doing. It's what my experience of a lot of people are doing. But yes, there's a lot more talk about mental health this week from lots of organisations. I put a video out this morning about, very interesting, that there are a lot of people talking. It's like, we'll get a webinar in. We'll do a webinar. We won't pay anyone properly to come and do a webinar, so we'll do a poorly paid webinar where we get someone in with no budget to come and talk about mental health, and then we can talk about how important mental health awareness is to us.
Cool. And have you seen any parts of it like to do with drinks or like drinking alcohol or?
So a lot of my feed, I get quite a lot of people who are talking about living in a sober way.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a lot of those sorts of stories on my feed. That seems to be more of a theme now. And I think I'm the wrong generation. So I'm like 42 this year. I know it's hard to believe, right? So when I was like a teenager, like that's what we did. We went out clubbing in Manchester to the hacienda and we drank, or, you know, whereas younger people now, like I remember when I was last working, a lot of the millennials and a lot of people younger than me just didn't drink at all. And obviously with different ethnic diversities, there's a lot more alcohol free and no alcohol people. So I think we're in a very interesting point in that workplaces used to, culturally, it was all about going for drinks after work. I think you're seeing a lot more organizations now where they're trying to deliberately create alcohol-free social activities or alcohol being as part of a health and wellness program. So it's gone from, especially in London, like being the boys club where everyone drinks all the time, where it's actually quite okay and normal that half of the team are alcohol free.
Yeah, is the movement is massive at the moment. You're seeing big numbers go.
But then that makes me, who still enjoys a drink every so often, then go through that kind of, oh my god, like am I not right? You know, it's like it's a really tricky on alcohol, because it's like, it's about the difference between moderating. What I think it's, I'll start with, I think it's really positive that there are so many people who are alcohol free. I think it's really positive that there are so many alcohol-free options now. Like I've got some alcohol-free gin and tonic in the fridge. We've got Seedlip over there. Like it's a really easy way to lower your alcohol intake. And I think it's really positive that so many people enjoy being sober. I do wonder though, because with a lot of food and a lot of diet and a lot of things, it's very extreme. You know, it's not about like, you know, you're either vegan or like you're a meat eater, you're either obese or you're like thin, you know, it's like you either,
there's no balance.
There's no balance. And so for me, like I have definitely cut down on alcohol and I enjoy being more controlled. I don't always find it easy to control. I love the fact there are more alcohol-free options. I find sometimes the sober movement takes me to a bad place as well, though, because it's like, oh my god, like why am I not able to stop drinking for 20 years, you know? And I think that's because it's quite trendy right now to be alcohol free, which by the way is a great thing, right? But it's sort of like, you know, I often sit with where I am with it.
I when I started this wasn't started because I saw the movement. It's because I fell in love with kvas. Me personally, I don't drink. It's not because I don't want to drink or can't. It's just I don't like the taste of beer. Never have. I drive a lot, so I don't really like the thought of drink driving. So it's never really sat nicely. My thing is I drink a lot of Coca-Cola, which I had to that's from my past. Like my dad and I would sit on the sofa and have a 2-litre bottle a night, and it's really bad. So
wow.
really bad. This is so I'm not coming to this thinking, right, I've got to create a low alcohol drink. It's actually ended up being a low alcohol drink, which is a
I think
different
it's
way.
great. Like I said, I love the fact there's so much more variety. Like when I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now 8, it was at the first start of alcohol-free drinks. And you could I've never liked the taste of beer either. I was either a wine drinker or a spirit drinker. And alcohol-free wines are repulsive still. They just, the first Beck's Blue came out as I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was quite grateful for that, although I didn't like the taste of beer. By the time I had my son 4 years ago, there was a big movement. But now I love the fact there are so many good alcohol-free options or low alcohol options. Because the other thing about alcohol is that beers and wines have got a lot stronger now. Like when I grew up, an average wine was 12%. And I always forget to look at the bottles because I'm just used to, in my head, it's 12%. But actually wine now is 14 or 15%. Just as beer has gone from like 2% to 4, 5, 6%, which, I haven't changed my wiring in my brain or my, like the habit hasn't changed for the alcohol reality. So actually making conscious alcohol-free choices is really helpful. And even if you are still a consumer of alcohol, you can mix it up. Like quite often we'll go out and have a beer and then have an alcohol-free beer. So it's sort of like you've managed to halve what you're drinking, just kind of that sort of thing.
Cool. Would you like to try it?
I would love to try it. I would love to try it, yes.
Hopefully it's safely delivered.
Yes, it is. I mean, I couldn't remember what this was when it arrived last week, and it was been my daughter's birthday, so I got loads of parcels. So with this, they opened it and was like, that's a bottle. There we go. So this is Breadrin with good bacteria. So have you spoken to places like Whole Foods and all those sorts of places?
Well, I'm finding, because I'm learning the way other breweries or drink producers go. They go Whole Foods, Selfridges, all those. I would not rule that out. I would love to be in all those places, but I'm finding I would like to go a different route. One where it's more normal people could buy it with a normal budget.
Yeah, because no, that's fair.
As I personally wouldn't go to Whole Foods, but I'm not going to rule out being Whole Foods, but I want it to be known to a wide audience.
So that's why you got to go on Sunday brunch, dude.
There you
go. Sainsbury's and Tesco's and all of the other shops. Yeah,
I'll clip this part and I'll put it on LinkedIn and I'll tag them.
Put it on Twitter. Put it on Twitter and put it on other ones as well. Because it's I think it's a really inspiring story. You were watching a program, you discovered a drink, and you've then left running a bakery to set this up. How could they not love that as a story?
Wow, yeah.
What channel is Sunday Brunch on?
Channel 4.
Well, I'll do a bit of digging and see if I know anyone at Channel 4 for you, okay?
There you go. Right, let's see if the taste.
No alcoholic fermented drink. Let me go. Do I need to go and get an opener? Right, so here we go.
This is the nervy part. Whenever I do a live tasting, do they like it or don't they?
Well, so I am not a great fan of kombucha, if that's it. To use that kombucha.
Why is that?
I don't like the taste of a lot of them. But then that doesn't necessarily mean I don't like this. So I'm just putting this out there. So if I think,
is that because of the vinegary taste?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a bit lively.
Smells nice. It smells quite floral.
Yeah.
Right. So kombucha. A lot of good kombucha is nice. Bad kombucha just smells like you're tasting like old socks,
Yeah.
This one, so Breadrin. And so should I be guessing what flavour it is?
No, so it's a sourdough, avocado and lime leaf.
Okay.
So the avocado should give it like a aniseedy licorice taste.
I really like that. And I'm not just saying that. The reason I like that is I've never liked the taste of hops, right? So I'm the same as you with beer, right? So I don't like beer. I've only started drinking beer in the last couple of years because my enzyme, I can't drink wine anymore. Wine just doesn't agree with me. And I was always a cider drinker because I don't like the taste of hops.
Yeah.
And one of the troubles I've always had is like wine is quite alcoholic and spirits are very alcoholic. So that kind of supping drink, cider is very sugary. And I don't like the taste of hops. So I've had to train myself to drink lager. Anything more hoppy than lager, I don't like. And even lager isn't my favorite. Whereas this is nice because it's so gentle. It's like a really it's like you're drinking beer, but without the taste of that really nasty hoppy kind of taste. It's a bit more floral, but without being really sticky. Because the trouble is with alcoholic drinks is you either go down the cider route where it's all strawberry flavored and really sugary, or you go the beer route. And if you don't like the taste of hops like me, this is like the perfect middle.
Oh, that's really good to hear.
Oh, it's really yum. And how do you make it?
So lockdown came and you see so many people making sourdough is very popular. And also I was pushed into making sourdough for my customers. So I had some sourdough left over. So what is a traditional flavouring with a sourdough? It's avocado on toast. So I was like, I wanted to play around with this idea. So, and then when you have avocado, you always put lime in, like when you make a guacamole. So those are my three flavours, which are, the thing is with avocado, it doesn't really taste much. It's just the texture is like creamy. So when I changed it to use the leaves, which gives it a more aniseedy taste. So it gives that uniqueness to it.
Beautiful. No, honestly, it's beautiful because it's like it's not so sweet and sugary that you wouldn't have a few drinks of it. And it's not like, like I said, I don't like malt, I don't like stout, I don't really like hops. It's a really gentle flavor and a little bit sweet and aniseedy, but not too much. It's quite refreshing. No, really beautiful, really beautiful.
Cool.
Like, no, really good. And like, yeah, you're right. Lightens out an aniseed licorice profile.
And then the kaffir lime leaves give it that floralness.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier. Cool.
No, I think you're onto something there, Kevin. It's beautiful. I didn't know what to expect because it's like a lot of kombucha. I mean, this doesn't smell like old socks, nor does it taste like old socks. But a lot of kombucha smells and tastes like old socks. And I'm sure a lot of the people drinking it don't like it, but are just drinking it because they think it's like good for them because it's like quite trendy right now. Yeah. This is like a fermented drink that's good for you that does not smell or taste like old socks.
Yes.
Well done. So what is the next step? What is your next plan?
So I've got a few more flavors coming out over the next few years, which all are based on the same thing. So a bread which is overused, or a popular bread. So for example, this one's sourdough. So my next one is panettone, because at Christmas time you'll see shelves full of panettone and you never see them sell out. So I do not want to know how much goes to waste. So I want to take all them on board and turn it into our next flavour. And then I've got
a Christmas drink as well when people are drinking a lot, because I mean, yeah, that's a great idea.
And so I've got a few flavours, and so it'll be based on a bread, a fruit or a vegetable, like avocado, and a citrus like the lime. So those are the three things. So just keep on getting the drink out and hopefully expand as a brand and to be more known.
You're self-funding this, but do you make the drinks yourself? I mean, or do
no.
You have? So you're someone else is brewing them for you.
So I've got a brewer up in Scotland who do it. So I had to find a certain brewer to brew it because of the lactobacillus in it. You've got to be careful with lines. So I've got an amazing brewer up in Scotland who brew this for us. And then, because Okay, I could do a few bottles myself. I don't have a big home.
Well, that's the reason I ask is I'm thinking about reach. So presumably you want this to be a big company that goes in somewhere. So, but you can scale because somebody else is doing your brewing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, right. So firstly, thank you. It was delicious. I really enjoyed it. Secondly, let me think how I can help you, right? So, I mean, how can I help you?
Just doing this. This helps me because this provides me gives us a plausible to other people, because I could tell everyone how amazing my product is or what benefits or blah blah blah, but I've got no credibility. People will just say that. If I keep on getting people like yourself showing people actually this is a nice product, it gives it a genuine voice. So just this alone is amazing.
Okay, but what else?
I don't know. I'm open to all.
Yeah, how are you doing with like socials and marketing and all that sort of stuff?
So I've got a couple of people on board who help me, who are shareholders. So I've got a guy who does the branding for me. He's a shareholder and he's worked with a number of brands. So he's a very skillful guy. And then I've got a marketing advisor who's another shareholder who was from Diet Coke. So he's got a great background now. My socials, I'm working with someone at the moment, just talking, advising, and I'm just testing bits here and there. Like our YouTube channel, I'm trying to build this as a where people can see what people think. And
are you looking for like investment or introductions or anything like that?
No, the problem about investment is it's great taking people's money. I can say I've raised £5 million, £10 million, £20 million. You hear this a lot in the trade at the moment, but that doesn't mean your business is profitable.
Well, it probably isn't, yeah.
And I want this to be a long-lasting project. Not I raised 20 million and then 5 years later I've got no business.
And would you sell direct to bars and restaurants, or are you looking?
Yes, so at the moment I'm in 10 places, 5 in Norwich and 5 in London. So a few places in London, and I just keep on knocking on doors and emailing people, and guerrilla tactics to
Okay, so
try and get
listen,
there.
so I'm quite entrepreneurial, so I will go away and think, and I know quite a few people in London because that's where I live. So if you're up for like, staying in touch, I'll have a think about,
definitely.
kind of stuff like that. Or if you want to bounce ideas off me, or if I can think of someone who I think might be useful, then I will give them a shout. Yeah.
Lovely. That'll be awesome. Right, I've got 3 questions. I want to try these 3 things. It might sound weird, but it suits your mental health thing, and it's the week. So I want to ask you what is the most likely thing to overcome anxiety? Is it exercise, turn to someone for advice, or meditate?
That's interesting. I think it depends on the individual, right? So, I think the thing with anxiety is, everyone has it to varying extents, and for some people, it can become, debilitating and an illness. I think part of being human, right, is figuring out how we all work and operate, and that's different for everybody, right? So, what were the 3 options? For me, I love exercise. I have exercised 2 to 3 times a week since I was a child, to such an extent that my partner will send me out to go and do some exercise if I'm feeling rubbish, right? So, so I know for me, exercise is important. I know
turn
that
to someone.
And I also know that meditating. So but all of those are a big part of my kind of self-care. Like a lot of when I'm talking to people about self-care, it's figuring out what works for them. What I would say though is, I mean, they all do different things. Exercise eats endorphins, changes your stress hormones, as does meditation. But talking to somebody as well. But this week is loneliness week. The theme for this week's mental health awareness week is loneliness. So I think there's quite a lot in there about isolation and mental health. So I think it's a combination of all three, with a plug to loneliness, can be a driver of anxiety and poor mental health.
The second one is, what do you think is key to happiness? Appreciating sadness, have a sense of purpose, or being grateful for what you have?
Interesting. So I thought the fact that you included sadness was a very interesting one, because usually when we talk about happiness, we forget that for every up there's a down, and you can't be happy if you don't know what sadness is, right? So I think the question was about appreciating happiness. Yeah. So it's like that beautiful Passenger song, you only know when you're up, like how does it go? You only know your.
I'm not singing.
But you know what I mean? You only know like that when you're down, right? So I think if it's about appreciating happiness, then it's about understanding sadness, right? Like gratitude is a way of building happiness, and gratitude is a really important practice. And what was the middle one?
What is having a sense of purpose?
Yeah, so purpose is important, I'm feeling in tune with that, and gratitude is an important practice. But I think, I'm going to go back to Passenger, and you only know you're up when you're feeling down, it's kind of, you only know you've been up when you're feeling down, it's kind of like you only would really understand and appreciate happiness if you know what sadness is,
Cool. And the last thing, what are you looking forward to next week? Are you pretty excited for anything you've got planned for next week, dreading it, or haven't thought about it?
Well, next week's tricky. I'm doing 2 masterclasses, right, which are on mental health awareness, and I'm forcing myself to do masterclasses now because I think I've got a lot to share, putting myself out there. I've got no idea what I'm going to write about or talk about. So at the moment, I'm like, oh God, I've got 2-hour masterclasses that I need to promote, sell tickets for, write, come up with good content. And when I'm in that phase, it always feels massively overwhelming. I always enjoy doing them, but it's like at the moment, I've just got those 2 dates in my diary of, oh God, I'm going to have to prepare for that. So that's kind of like, what were the options? It was apprehensive,
excited, dreading, or haven't thought of it.
Yeah, so definitely have thought about it. Excited slightly, but more slightly dreading it because I'm kind of right at the start of the mountain of what to do and things. But yeah, kind of it'll all work out,
Perfect. And thank you.
No, thank you, Kevin. Listen, and do stay in touch. I will have a think about how I can help you in any way. Like, I'm entrepreneurial. I love helping self-starters, and I think you've done something really cool. So, do stay in contact. Yeah.
Lovely, definitely.
Brilliant. All right.
Have a great day.
The other thing is that a guy, Michael Nadra, it's a name, Google it, Michael Nadra. He's a guy that runs a restaurant in Primrose Hill.
Okay.
Essex boy, nice guy, nice lad. Tell him, if you contact him and try and get your drink in, tell him that Amy sent you, yeah?
Okay, I will.
It's a nice Essex. He's a self-starting Essex boy as well, Brentwood boy, kind of like built his own thing. So he's an obvious person to first start with, because I think the thing is the more people who've seen your drink, the more people are going to want it,
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool. All right, Kevin. Well, thank you very much. And I will see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Cheers.